Chairman, it's obvious the two parties have different approaches to how to secure the border or if the border is secure and things related, but we shouldn't have two views on what is factual. It's been offered by the other side that if you only pass more laws, you'd give the administration more of an opportunity to secure a border, that if you only trust this administration with more authorities, that somehow it would secure the border, while it hasn't done so in the last 3 years. That it needs Congress to go to the Senate to debate and discuss a bill. Well, we did that in H.R. 2 and waiting for them to do something, but let's not make a mistake and let's not confuse the facts. The president doesn't need a single thing more to secure the border, to do an executive order, to remain in Mexico, to stop the repositioning of border agents away from the border, to resume border wall construction, and to cancel mass parole of migrants. The president does not need Congress to do that. Maybe he needs an appropriation of 50 cents for a pen to sign that executive order, but he does not need us to do anything more than we have done already. The second thing that ought to be cleared up, that Secretary Mayorkas was not afforded a proper opportunity to come before this committee, despite his willingness to do so. Well, that's not so correct either, because on 3 separate occasions since August, Secretary Mayorkas was indeed invited to testify before the committee to defend his actions and his lack of actions as Secretary of Homeland Security. In response, his staff either tacitly declined our invitations or engaged in a game of cat and mouse to avoid being accountable for his actions. He never had any good faith to find a mutually agreeable day. He never offered any real times or days to testify. And most recently, on January 5th of this year, Secretary Mayorkas was invited to appear before the committee at our January 18th hearing as a part of the official impeachment proceedings. The Secretary then rejected the offer to testify, and his office failed to communicate with our committee and failed to make himself available to testify at another time. Understanding that his declinations would continue and our investigative duties would be stymied, the committee again offered the Secretary 10 days from the date of January 18th hearing to provide written testimony. The committee has yet to receive a response. And here's some background on the efforts this committee has undertaken to invite the Secretary to date. On August 16th, the committee sent a letter to Secretary Mayorkas inviting him to provide testimony about the state of the southwest border and his handling of the crisis that has been raging for nearly 3 years. Nearly a month later, on September 14th, in response to the committee's offer to appear before members and defend his decisions, DHS rejected that invitation. Subsequently, the committee sent another follow-up letter on September 18th, reiterating his request that the Secretary appear before the committee. Yet several days after the deadline, DHS again sent another letter declining the invitation, claiming that DHS has limited capacity to support such a hearing request. I think this is disappointing, Mr. Chairman, and under unanimous consent, I'd like to enter into the record the 5 invitations this committee has sent to the Secretary.